All right, so good morning, everyone. We are about to begin our virtual impact celebration. We would like to start our virtual impact celebration first with a moment of silence in recognition of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and the many other victims of racist violence in our country. These past few months have been incredibly challenging for all of us because of COVID-19 and the closure of our schools and city. Additionally, our country, city, and community has continued to deal with systemic racism and discrimination that is embedded in our history and impacts our current day reality. We would like to recognize and reflect on the injustices that people of color face in our country, as well as recognize the lives that have been lost because of the racism that exists in our country. When our Black and Brown students are forced to face violence and racism on a daily basis, it becomes necessary for us as educators to stand against that and proclaim loudly that we believe Black lives always have mattered and always will matter. Please join me for a minute of silence to recognize the lives that have been lost but will not be forgotten. Thank you so much for joining me in our moment of silence. We are now going to begin our 2019-2020 Impact Celebration. Again, congratulations to our 2019-2020 Young Heroes. It was so beautiful to see you all step up and become true young heroes during this difficult time, even when schools closed, by taking action and accomplishing the amazing digital action projects. I'm so excited for you all to see the different digital social action projects, as well as show off your own projects to one another. For these first 30 minutes, please just look around the website, look through the projects, comment on the projects if you have any thoughts, take the online Which Hero Are You fun quiz, and write on our online mural wall. After this, at 11:30, we're going to have Braden Mannering come and speak. You guys can ask him questions through our YouTube live chat. And then we're also going to speak and give awards for each of our schools. I will see you soon and have a great time looking at the projects.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for browsing through all the school's projects. I hope you were inspired by the other work the Young Heroes have completed. Up next, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. We learn about Braden Mannering and the Young Heroes Outreach Program when we study how to measure impact. After winning a Healthy Eating Award, Braden is challenged by First Lady Michelle Obama to pay it forward. From there, he created his nonprofit, Bray's Brown Bags, and delivered more than 15,000 brown bags full of healthy snacks for homeless and low-income individuals. Talk about a big impact. In learning about Braden and his work, we learn how following the steps to change leads to maximum impact. And despite incredible obstacles, you continue to follow the steps to change, to take action, and make a big impact. Here to help you celebrate today is Braden. Please give a big YHOP welcome to Braden.
Good afternoon, Young Heroes. My name is Braden Mannering, and I am the founder of 3B Bray's Brown Bags, a nonprofit organization that provides healthy food to homeless and low-income populations. Over the last few years, my organization has expanded into assisting with disaster relief, and we have worked in schools to start 3B Ripple chapters so that more and more groups are able to be part of our fight to end hunger. I started this organization when I was 9 years old, and now I'm 16. I really enjoy having the opportunity to talk with groups who have participated in Young Heroes Outreach Program with the National Liberty Museum, because you are the proof that our future will be bright. What an incredible time to be involved in a Young Heroes program. Who knew we would find ourselves in the middle of a global pandemic? This is something that none of us have dealt with before, and it is a brave new world of wearing face masks and medical gloves to go to the mailbox. It is also a time in which young leaders like yourselves are learning how to rise up against the unknown and tackle it. I'm amazed at your resiliency, and I hope that you are always able to keep this strength in your hearts. Additionally, your interest in wanting to learn more about social justice is something I wish you could bottle up, pour into the clouds, and then make it rain down onto the world. Beyond your desire to learn is your passion for activating change and its characteristic that sets you apart and makes you extraordinary. Within the walls of the National Liberty Museum, you can find inspiring stories of internationally known heroes who have captured audiences far and wide. We are all familiar with Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and Anne Frank, to name a few. Here in the United States, we also look up to public servants who run into burning buildings on 9/11 when planes hit the Twin Towers in New York. However, right now, streaming this celebration, all of you are local heroes making huge impacts in your hometowns. For those of you tackling issues like animal cruelty, bullying, child abuse, homelessness, gun violence, human trafficking, and food insecurity, I applaud the time you spent researching the cause of these issues, educating yourself on ways to improve the problem, and developing plans to create social change. Each of you inspire and amaze me. I know how hard it is to try and wrap your head around the concept of social justice because these are issues that shouldn't be called into question. It should be common sense that we all have enough healthy food on our table to be able to live a healthy lifestyle. It should be natural to realize we have no right to throw animals or people out onto the street or into a border wall. The concept of human trafficking is something that I can't imagine, not even in the worst horror films, and certainly not in real life. But we see it, whether it makes sense or not. We know it's happening. But knowing is only half the battle. Those of you listening today, you realize that the other half of the battle is to actually do something about it. And you are. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Now, I would be remiss if I did not take time to speak about the racial injustices which have been plaguing our country for hundreds of years. Maybe it took a global pandemic to shut us all in our homes in order for us to all see George Floyd take his last breath on Memorial Day through a camera phone recording. Maybe the pandemic has finally woke everyone up and made them open their eyes to what many of us have been seeing our whole lives. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Tony McDade, and Breonna Taylor. Not only do we need to know their names, but we also need to say their names. We must come together to build a deeper understanding of issues which run deep in our nation's history, because acknowledging and admitting to these issues will give us the power to overcome them together. Today, I ask you to take a pledge with me from your home or your office, from wherever you are sitting right now. Repeat after me. I can, I will, I must. We can, we will, we must. We must begin writing a new book to go down in history, one in which one with which every human being is treated with love, dignity, equity, and respect. I can, I will, I must. We can, we will, we must. We must do more than speak about being the change. We must act, we must take strides, we must deliver. I can, I will, I must. We can, we will, we must. We must listen and hear our fellow neighbors so we can see through their eyes, walk in their shoes, and feel their trauma. I can, I will, I must. We can, we will, we must. We must open our eyes and our hearts to release our prejudices, so that never again will the words, I can't breathe, be words of privilege. I can, I will, I must. We can, we will, we must. Today, tomorrow, and every single day moving forward. Young heroes, it is thanks to you, to all of you listening out there, that I have hope for humanity, because you are the reason I know justice will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brayden, for speaking to us and saying those inspiring words. It was really great to hear you talk, and we really appreciate you spending the time to say these important things and inspire our young heroes who are able to make a change. I just wanted to ask you a few questions that our kids have prepared for you, and then I'm going to leave it up to the YouTube live chat for them to also ask any more questions that they have. So first, I wanted to ask, who inspired you to help homelessness? And why did you choose to fight for homelessness and not another subject like animal cruelty, pollution, or any of the other social issues that exist?
Well, the first time I met Michelle Obama, she was very inspiring when she asked me how I would pay it forward after meeting her and being able to visit the White House. My parents and my grandparents also inspire me every day and encourage me on things to do. What made me choose healthy food and feeding the homeless and low income is healthy food is harder to get, and it's very important to live a healthy lifestyle. That's like one thing Michelle Obama was really big about, which is mainly where I got my inspiration from. And so I decided that I would try and give that to them by making the brown bags that have healthy snacks in them.
That's amazing. And while you were doing all of this, did you ever doubt your ability to complete your goals? Did anyone say to you, a kid can't do something like this? A kid can't create a organization and help that many people?
I mean, I've definitely doubted myself and gotten like nervous about doing certain things. I don't think I've had anyone tell me that I can't. I've always had really very encouraging people around me, which is nice. But I've definitely doubted myself before, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And like when you would doubt yourself, did it ever get kind of stressful doing these sort of things, being this famous and being able to accomplish such amazing things at such a young age?
It's definitely stressful sometimes, especially with school. Like I still have to do school. I'm in high school right now, and that can definitely get stressful. But you learn to overcome it, and that's the most important part. And it's not as stressful anymore, but sometimes it still can be.
Yeah, of course. And then how did you feel kind of after accomplishing so much and helping so many people?
When I made like a milestone or a goal or any sort of accomplishment like that, I definitely feel very happy and proud that me and like everyone that was around me to help me were able to do like a big accomplishment. And then I look forward in the like what I could do in the future to improve it.
Okay, great. And we're getting some questions from the chat now. If you're ready to ask or answer a few questions that are being asked from our YouTube live chat.
Yep.
How do you keep going doing this without being like, I just want to give up?
I mean, with every time I have to do something, I also have something else to look forward to afterwards, or something that I can get my mind off of everything and just relax. I mean, like I play games with my friends, of course. Like I still have like a normal life, and just everything, but everything else just comes and goes as it is.
Yeah, of course. And while this is all happening, did anyone ever specifically doubt you? Because I know you had said you have a lot of people who have been pushing you and supporting you, but has there been anyone in your life and during this journey who actually doubted you?
I don't think so. I mean, and if they did, then it didn't affect me, or I didn't listen, because it didn't matter to me when I had everyone else around me supporting me.
Of course. And another question from one of our students, what for you was your very first big step?
The first big step. So I would say it's the first time meeting Michelle Obama, but I didn't come up with the idea until after meeting her the first time. So my first big step was making it a 501c3, which is what makes it an official nonprofit organization, and that was probably my first biggest step.
And when was that? How old were you?
That was in December of 2013.
Okay, wow. So quite a while ago. That's incredible. And we also have another question. How did you reach people? How were you able to reach people?
We use when it comes to communicating with people to pack bags or help out, we use a lot of social media. We have Twitter, Facebook, Facebook, and we also have a website, which is braisebrownbags.org, and a lot of people reach out to us through there. And when it comes to delivering bags, through being reached out, they tell us places we can go, and we always have a bag in the car to give it to someone on the street.
Awesome. And what advice would you actually give to other young people trying to make a change but don't really know where to start?
I mean, I would find a topic that you're really passionate about and something that you know that you could make a change, and then just go with it. You can't give up. If you give up, then you'll never be successful with what you want to do.
So just probably 2 to 3 more questions because we are running out of time. Thank you so much to all the students, all the people in the chat putting in these really thoughtful questions for Braden. We have one student who asked, when did you first find out about homelessness as a social issue?
I mean, I knew about it my whole life, but I didn't know how to make like a positive impact on it and make a change. I think when I realized I can actually do something was when I realized it's as simple as just packing. It doesn't have to be a brown bag. It can be any bag or anything. It doesn't have to be a bag. You can give them anything, and it'll make their day. Like anything that will support them and help them and get them through the rest of their day. Is when I kind of realized that you can make an impact on this.
Yeah, you can make a difference with even a small action.
Yeah.
So also someone has asked, are you still helping during the pandemic? So what are you doing during COVID-19?
We always have a bag in the car. Of course, it's definitely been harder because of the pandemic. Driving, we haven't been driving as much, but definitely still making an impact and doing things during the pandemic.
Okay, so this is going to be our last question. One of our young heroes has asked, what was your hardest, most difficult step during this process?
Hardest step was getting the word out about our organization. like making it grow bigger.
Mhm.
I got to meet Michelle Obama for the second time, and that's when things definitely started to go higher in when it comes to popularity
Mhm.
of my like
And
website.
that kind of helped you figure
Oh
out
yeah,
your idea, right?
for sure, for sure.
Mhm. Okay, well, thank you so much, Brayden. I think that's all we have time for in terms of questions. Again, I appreciate all the young heroes in our YouTube live chat asking these thoughtful questions and listening to Brayden speak. And I appreciate you, Brayden, for taking the time out of your day. I know you're a busy sophomore going into your junior year. You're probably trying to wrap up your school year, but you came and took your time to make sure to be able to inspire our young heroes. So that's amazing. Thank you, Brayden.
Thank you, thank you,
Have a great day.
thank you.
All right, so next we are going to now have our YHOP team speak, and we're going to give awards for each of our schools. So please stay on for these next 15 minutes for each of our YHOP educators to give the awards for our schools. Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you again for attending our virtual impact celebration. And again, thank you so much to Brayden for coming online to speak to our young heroes. My name is Miss Michelle. If you don't already know me, if you're from a different school, I am an outreach educator for our YHOP program, and I work specifically with Greenberg, Tilden, Francis Scott Key, Masterman, Sheridan, and Spring Garden. However, I'm so proud of each and every one of you who have participated in our YHOP program. The skills you learned in our program this year, you will use for the rest of your lives, and they're so incredibly important, especially right now and what's going on in our country. So I'm so happy and lucky to be able to celebrate with you all today and honor you amazing kids. I'm going to go through my schools and give awards for each of those schools. So let's first start off with Greenberg. So I'm starting off with Greenberg, giving them a shout out, and their award is Certificate for Most On Point. The reason why I am giving this award to Joseph J. Greenberg School for Most On Point is because the minute schools closed and we realized we are no longer going to be able to have a physical project, the students at Greenberg immediately adapted their social action project, worked together to find ways to make a difference. When we would ask the students to jump, they would respond with how high. It was never a question of whether or not we were going to be able to adapt our projects. It was just figuring out how we were going to be able to do it and how we were going to be able to do this in the most impactful way while schools were closed. You guys were organized, on top of every little thing, and passionate. So I'm giving this award to Greenberg for Most On Point. The next school I'm giving an award for is Tilden Middle School. So for Tilden Middle School, I would like to give you all the award for Most Courageous. You all became the epitome of this character trait that we learned throughout the school year. You use this character trait during the action phase, and you created a project that came directly from the heart. You are one of the students who aren't part of Tilden Middle School, I urge you to look at Tilden Middle School's projects because they use courage to really create incredibly powerful posters, presentations, and personal testimonies about their own experiences with gun violence and how it affects them in their community. I know that each and every one of you at Tilden are going to continue to inspire the hearts of many with your courage for the rest of your lives. Next up, I would like to give Francis Scott Key Young Heroes the award for Most Community Focus. I'm giving this award to Francis Scott Key because you all are a group of students that clearly care so much about each other and your community. It was really inspiring to see how you responded to the important social issue gun violence and felt it was key to focus on the community's effects of the social issue and how to make a change specifically in your community. You met with several organizations, including Philly Ceasefire, Ceasefire PA, to learn more about the effects of the social issue on your neighborhood, and you're able to develop strong relationships with your community because of this. You created a social action project that addressed the very real issues in your neighborhood, and you made sure every step of the way you included your community in that process. One of the most powerful and exciting moments of the year and in my career was to be able to have that conversation with you all last week and have very productive and passionate conversations that is difficult to even have with adults right now. And the fact that I was able to have it with these young heroes was incredibly inspiring. We spoke about the Black Lives Matter protests, the civil unrest going on in our country, and ways in which we can take action and make sure our world's a better place. It was very inspiring, and I feel very lucky to be part of that. For our Masterman Young Heroes, I would like to give them the award for Strongest Leadership. While working with you all, I had the immense pleasure of seeing each and every one of you step up and rise to the occasion. You all became incredible leaders by figuring out methods to achieve your goals and never being deterred by any obstacle that came in our way. Each group had two amazing leaders that worked so hard to set up separate meetings, Google Forms, collaborative documents, and so much more. Even if you weren't one of those two leaders, I saw every student work so hard to play their part and achieve the very strong goals of Masterman, which ended up creating a website, a petition, a video, posters, strong information, and even a communications team that spread the word. Masterman was able to create such an incredible and impassioned project about a very pertinent social issue, COVID-19's effects on animals. And they did this through their strong leadership and ability to work together. The future leaders I saw at this school were all inspirational, and I know that each and every one of you will grow up to do amazing things. Last but not least, I would like to give the award to Sheridan Elementary School for Most Empathetic. The reason why I'm giving Sheridan this award is because I saw at every moment that I worked with the Sheridan kids, they would continuously use their very important character trait, empathy. When schools closed down, Sheridan Young Heroes immediately used their empathy character trait to choose a new social issue that they found relevant to them, COVID-19. They found that the social issue was the one that was hurting people around them the most, and they wanted to do all they could to help the people affected instead of being scared or frightened. They thought, what can I do to help others? While doing their project, you all built each other up, constantly strengthened one another. When one student was struggling or had an obstacle in their way, they would make sure that they would time and time see the young heroes push each other and cheer each other on. You put so much care for one another in this project as well as care for others. I am proud to announce you all as most empathetic. So now that I have gone through all my schools and given their awards, I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Theo to give awards for his schools.
All right, hello everyone. I am Mr. Theo, and I had the pleasure of working with 6 different schools across Philadelphia this year. All 6 of them did excellent work, and I want to shout out the progress, work, research, and planning that all of my schools did. 2 of my schools were able to come together and create really exceptional action projects under these really difficult circumstances, and I want to present awards to both of those schools right now. The first of those schools is Universal Institute Charter. And I want to give Universal Institute Charter my certificate for strongest community. The reason why I chose this award is because Universal Institute, UIC, is a larger school, and being a larger school can be both an advantage and a disadvantage. It's an advantage because you have a lot of people working together, and it's a disadvantage because it means you need to make sure all those people get heard, everyone agrees on something, and everyone can really respect each other enough to work together and help each other. And with the large group of students that we worked with at UIC, we 100% turned our large size into an advantage and a strength. The students created a project with so many different components in it that even I was a little bit concerned when I first heard it, and I very quickly found out that I had absolutely no reason to be concerned about that. 4 different kinds of media were created in order to reach out on what's a really difficult issue to talk about, human trafficking, and to speak to people of all different ages, and all different demographics from all across Philadelphia about this issue, which is so important because it's an issue that can affect anyone, as we learned during our research. The UIC community was also extremely helpful in making this project. We had an assist from some other teachers at UIC in creating our media, and we got to present it to the school leadership, which helped significantly widen our impact and reach even more people who needed to hear the really important message that the Young Heroes came up with. So being able to pull all of these pieces together is such an important and powerful skill. And I think as we're watching the world right now, we're getting to see firsthand what good organizing can do and what good organizing can achieve. And I'm really happy to say that all of my students, all of my young heroes at Universal Institute learned a little bit of those skills that they'll be able to take with them into their lives and fight in the future against any social issue that they want to change. So huge shout out to UIC for what they achieved this year. My second award is going to go to William Ziegler, and that is my certificate, my Can't Stop, Won't Stop certificate for Unstoppable Team. And the reason I'm giving this award to Ziegler is because from the very first week, from the very first moment after schools closed, we were in touch, we were talking, we had really consistent students showing up, we had important conversations about our social issue, important conversations just about the new things that were happening and all the scary stuff, and trying to figure out how to deal with our lives as the world changed very quickly around us. A big part of our curriculum is learning to overcome obstacles, and UIC was presented with a ton of obstacles, including having to totally reorient and change what their social issue is halfway through the year, which meant going back, doing more research, having more conversations. And we were so consistent, we were so unstoppable that no matter what those obstacles were, we didn't let it stop us. And we managed to create a really great, really powerful project that's going to impact so many different people in the Ziegler community and in the world at large. And I just want to say, having those skills, that self-motivated ambition and motivation to all of the students at Ziegler is one of the most important skills that you can have in life, and something that I personally certainly did not have at your age. So I hope you take what you learned, and I hope you take that energy that you clearly have into whatever you encounter next that you really care about, you really want to change, because it's going to be a really powerful tool in your arsenal. And then finally, I just want to shout out Locke, Hostos, Decatur, and St. Francis de Sales did excellent projects on gun violence, food insecurity and hunger, recycling, and proper childcare. And the work that you did is so important and will be so helpful and useful for you in the projects that you're going to devote yourself to in life. And I hope that all of you know that even though we hit an obstacle this year, to any of you may be listening, that doesn't mean that the work you did isn't important and didn't help you grow as a young hero. So now I'm going to pass it off to my coworker, Miss Lissa, who's going to give her superlatives for her schools. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dio. Hi, I'm Miss Lissa, and I had the opportunity to work with 6 amazing schools this year. All of the participating schools worked super hard and overcame a ton of obstacles, like Mr. Theo said. I want to take a second and recognize my team and the flexibility of the schools I worked with. I had a baby in January, so my schools had to start the action phase with one of my coworkers, but that didn't stop you. You got to work right away researching and voting on your social issues, and you kept on going. And even though I didn't get to see you guys again in person this year, you continued to work with me, which is just fantastic. So thank you to my schools, thank you to my team, and thank you to the incredible teachers who are part of the YHOP program. My first award is to Solis Cohen. You guys are my crossover collaborators. With 7 classes and just about 240 students, you guys are the biggest population that we work with. But that doesn't stop you from coming together and using one voice. In all of your classes, you were respectful, you listened to each other, you had really great conversations during the training phase, and you were able to come together around one social issue, which is a great thing to be able to do when there are so many participating students. You are respectful and empathetic. I know that you really care about the things that you do. You persevered through the remote learning, and you blew me away with your incredible advocacy posters for recycling. You were able to work together while keeping socially distant, and that is why you are my crossover collaborators. Up next are my students at William Rowan Elementary. You guys are my responsible, resourceful responders. It takes a lot of work to reflect on something that you participate in, like recess, and pinpoint what the problems are and how it can be better. When you guys decided that you wanted to make recess a safe, enjoyable place for all students, I was really excited because Rowan Elementary has a history of changing policies and procedures at school to make it safer for everybody. You were able to recognize that aside from needing additional equipment and games to play out on the playground, one of the biggest problem was there weren't enough adults to help supervise and solve problems, but that didn't stop you. You were responsible and resourceful, and you know it's your job. So I know that one of the classes worked to assign jobs to students, like a problem solver or someone to help walk to the nurse, because you recognize that you yourselves can make recess better. And I'm just so happy you guys feel so responsible about that. And that is why you are my resourceful, responsible responders. Up next is Tanner Duckery Elementary. You guys are my illuminating investigators. When you chose school funding as your social issue, we had some pretty wild theories about why school funding wasn't equal in all of Pennsylvania. And you got right to work investigating why school funding was funded the way it was, why there are inequities, what well-funded schools look like versus what unfunded schools look like. And you did so much investigating. You found out that well-funded schools have things like libraries, counselors, fun electives, and after-school programs. And for your action project, you outlined what Duckery could look like if it had its fair funding. And that is why you guys are my illuminating investigators. Up next, I have St. Christopher School. You guys are my patient, perseverant partners. First, I want to take a minute to recognize the 8th graders who've been participating in the Young Heroes Club for 3 years. It is incredible to see you come back year after year to keep working with the Young Heroes Club, and I want to thank you for persevering through that. I also want to thank you for your patience. When we started the action phase, we went through not 1, but 2 topic changes, and you guys remained flexible and patient through that. And then you finally decided to treat COVID-19 as a social issue, which it absolutely is. We're living through it. We decided to recognize and thank all of the essential workers. You guys rallied the whole school to make a nearly 8-minute long video. And it's just amazing. You guys took the responsibility of contacting the teachers, asking them to make a video with their classes. Some kids took on the editing of the videos together. This is truly your project, and you did an amazing job. I hope that your teachers have posted some of the responses we're getting. The fire stations and hospitals that are sharing this with the doctors and nurses and firefighters have just been so thankful to see these videos, especially as it looks like the cases of COVID-19 are ramping back up. So thank you for that. And that is why you are the patient, perseverant partners. My last school is Lamberton Elementary. You guys are the creative, courageous contributors. You took on bullying this year, which takes incredible courage. During the training phase, we talk about bullying and how some people are afraid to stand up for bullying because they don't want to get bullied themselves, or they think they're worried about what their friends might think of them, but that didn't stop you. And you came up with incredibly creative solutions to that. You have a buddy bench being installed on your playgrounds. I know that you're not going to get your assembly, but many of you have volunteered that when you're back in school to take those books that you purchased about bullying to go and read them to the younger students. So I absolutely love that. Thank you, Lamberton. You are our creative, courageous contributors. Speaking next is Miss Maureen. Miss Maureen, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Miss Lissa. I'm Miss Maureen, and I had the absolute pleasure this year of working with two incredible schools, James Dobson Elementary and Feltonville School of Arts and Sciences. Although the young heroes at James Dobson were not able to adapt their project into a digital action, it was amazing to see all of the work that they had completed for their initial plan to hold an all-school walkathon and assembly series to draw attention to their chosen issue of animal cruelty. And now on to my second school, Feltonville School of Arts and Sciences. The amount of work, dedication, and creativity that you young heroes at Feltonville put into this project is unbelievable. When asked to choose the award that best described you all, it was clear. You were the school with the most heart. It all started with your passion for making sure that all of the students in your school would have access to healthy food by creating a food pantry, and it transformed into an ambitious digital action plan that aimed to let individuals in your own community and the surrounding communities know where they could get free food during this time for themselves and even for their pets. You also adapted your research on nutritious foods that can be stored for long periods into an educational awareness campaign to let your fellow community members know how they could purchase affordable, healthy foods to stock up on during quarantine. Even when you couldn't rely on the internet or Chromebooks, you continued your work by relying on phone calls to submit your research. The work you have accomplished here is awe-inspiring. I'm so proud of you, and I know your classroom teachers are too. But most importantly, know that you should be proud of yourselves. I can't wait to see what you'll accomplish in the future. And of course, we can't forget your teachers. So while my own thanks go especially to Miss Nicole and Miss Ashley at Feltonville, I'd like to extend a huge thank you on behalf of the YHOP team to all of our teaching partners who made these action projects possible. We couldn't do it without you. And now I'll pass things back over to Miss Michelle and Mr. Theo for trivia.
All right, so we are about to start our trivia. I want to make sure that everybody goes to this trivia link, crowd.live/OGWR4. Again, crowd.live/OGWR4. You can see that right up here. And then you just put in the trivia game code. I know a lot of you guys have already done this. And once you enter, you'll have a chance to start our trivia and win a bunch of cool prizes. So Theo, if you want to say some words as well.
All right, so any student who had me this year knows that I am the game master. I love playing games, and this is our chance for all of our young heroes to show off all of the cool stuff that you've learned this whole year. I am going to remind everyone that even while we're playing, even if we're getting a little bit competitive, we are still showing off all of those hero traits that we learned this year, particularly respect and empathy in the comment section, and also towards ourselves. Even if we don't get or do exactly as well as we hope to, you are certainly all heroes and winners for being here and for the work that you did on your projects. We are, however, going to all go head to head for some fabulous prizes. If you're having any trouble at all following the link on the screen or getting there, let us know in the comments on the YouTube and we will try and guide you. So have fun. Do your best, and good luck to all of our young heroes. Thank you. And I just want to answer one question in particular. This is just an event for our young heroes. So we're going to ask parents and guardians and teachers to just let our young heroes take center stage to celebrate everything they've done this year. Thank you very much.
Okay, so our trivia has ended. Thank you so much for playing and joining us. We are going to announce the winners now.
All right, our drawing winner was Pedro Soares from Solus Cohen in Miss Bowman's class. Our third place trivia winner is Charlotte Hongaranen. Our second place trivia winner is April Chen. And our first place trivia winner is Zoe Zellinger. We'll be working with your teachers to make sure that you get these awards. But they will be coming to you. Teachers, if you recognize your students' names, would you please text your YHOP educator so we can make sure we get these to the proper students? Thank you so much. Well, boys and girls, that brings our impact celebration to an end. We want to again thank everyone for coming to our virtual impact celebration. We want to recognize all of the hard work and dedication we saw from schools this year. I want to thank our students, teachers, and parents for going the extra mile and keeping us in your virtual classrooms to complete YHOP this year. We know it wasn't easy. The YHOP team and the National Liberty Museum are so impressed with the work you've been able to do, but despite not being all together in the classroom, we hope you take what you've learned about character traits, affecting change, working with others, and leadership skills and apply them to everything you do in the future. We can't wait to see what each of you does next. I know we're not together, but we're applauding you and you should applaud yourself. Thanks again, and we're going to hear from the rest of the YHOP team to say goodbye.
All right, goodbye everyone. Thank you so much. I want to thank my schools, Young Heroes, who were able to accomplish such amazing digital action projects. And then finally, our teacher heroes, the ones I was able to work with, as well as the ones I wasn't directly working with. You guys were able to make this happen, and you were the reason why this was allowed to happen. Even when schools closed, you really helped our students take the extra mile to make sure to finish out these digital action projects. So bye, thank you everyone.
Thank you to everyone who came. I want to just echo something I said to one of my classes in particular, which is that all of you have done something really exceptional this year. This was a once in a lifetime year. There's maybe and likely never going to be another year like it. Throughout your life, people will probably ask you what you did during the COVID-19 pandemic and the other events that transpired this year. And no one will be able to take away from you the fact that you did this really incredible thing. So I hope you carry that with you for the rest of your lives, and I hope you feel very proud of yourselves. Have a great summer. You all earned it.
And I just want to give another quick thank you to all of the students, parents, and teachers who have worked so hard to accomplish all of the projects that we saw here today. And as Mr. Theo said, you know, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. When people ask you what you did, you will, unlike many people, even adults, be able to point to specific actions that you took to help your communities during this time. So be very proud, have a great summer, and we hope to see you again.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.